Handbook for the New Paradigm. Chapter 10. The movie, The Siege, contained heavy subliminal messaging. Just one point, remember that it used the Constitution to resolve the difficulty. However, their intention is to use executive orders so that there is no constitution, for where will there be a judge with authority to stand against the dark organization? The realization of that will quickly demoralize the people. That was another sleeping pill of greater magnitude than you realize. Asking for shielding and for discernment was quite effective, and it will be most helpful to use it as the situation progresses. It is something that will need to be done by each and not something that can be done for a group by one person. Again, we go back to the law of individual responsibility. It will be interesting for you to know that the planetary consciousness is changing. Let us compare this to a breathing pattern. It is as though the planet is changing its steady intervals of inhale and exhale to an irregular pattern of a deeper inhale, as compared to the exhale as a gathering of internal energies. That is an area of our discussions that has not been covered. The planet too shall participate in the plan to change the situation. Remember that all manifestation at all levels is the result of the projection of thought into the malleable ethers, your name for creative potential, and that thought is interactive within itself in the ability to maintain balance. You can perceive that you are beginning to experience a focus of change in a cooperative energy vibration. This has the potential to synchronize the inhabitant consciousness to blend with that of the planet as a whole. Perhaps this will allow you to begin to understand why we belabor the point of the importance of the parenting cells being of the consciousness that will produce this blending vibratory ratio. There shall be a quickening of the latent emotional connections to the planetary consciousness, not to the suffering on her part because of mankind's infliction of selfishness and greed, but to the area of conscious desire for change to a new and different experience. Remember, this is not the first civilization to experience here, and you do not know the history of these previous scenarios. Just as you experience and learn, so also is this repeated in the evolution of the planet as a whole. Here you begin to see the damming up of energy that is occurring now. When a hole in this dam is released in a direction that the whole of this energy can blend into cohesively, then there can be a release that will flush away the infection and bring about a healing of marvelous proportion. Just as a journey begins with the first step, so also this begins with the tiny hole in the dam by the formation of the first cells of the birthing process. It is not yet clear exactly what the planetary involvement will be, as it depends upon the blend of energy that parents the part of the process that is contributed by humanity. It is the key that unlocks the whole of the project. We, of course, have observed various scenarios of possible energy combinations similar to your computer projections and find that each brings forth a vastly different combination of possible reactions. Each leads to a similar end conclusion, not only in different combinations of similar elements, actions, and reactions, but in different elements, actions, and reactions entirely. Therefore, definite conclusions cannot be made even from this perspective. Isn't that interesting? We think so. Thus, once the selections are made and the first cells begin to act in the creation of the possible dream scenarios, it still will not be possible to project much of clarity until the dream scenario, becomes clear in the minds of these groups as a whole. Can we guide this process based on our test projections? We wish we could, but that would be unacceptable interference. In this case, the guidance will have to come from a higher source than we are. There is little doubt that the highest of high is most interested in what is happening here, and that source will be available for exactly the help needed. These miniature planetary think tanks will be allowed to play with possibilities, but the request for high source help will no doubt have much powerful input into the completion of the process. I can assure you that this level knows mankind to its very core and will guide the process, but there must first be the movement beyond desire into active thought projection for the purpose of manifesting this new experience. After the creative dreaming of possibilities, then follows the purposeful focus process to place the skeletal outline in place. The great reward will be the painting in of the details with the experience of that which you will have created. The joy of this part of the process shall be wonderful indeed.